So just for a quick intro, my name is Jessica Ma. I'm the founder and CEO of Ingenero.com. And just for a little quick background on the company, Ingenero's goal is to make it very easy for any business owner to keep on top of their finances. And we launched just in July of 2010. And I've been instructed just to sit back and wait for questions in the chat room. So. Meanwhile, I'll just talk about a few topics I'm interested in going over. Ingenero went through Y Combinator this summer, so I'm really fresh on fundraising. We just hired a team of 7 people, so I'd be happy to talk about that. The idea for Ingenero came from my co-founder and I back in college. We were just thinking about what are the biggest business problems we could possibly want to solve. And from working on our own businesses in the past, we realized that it was just really hard to manage our finances. So we looked at services like Mint.com and QuickBooks, and none of them helped business owners solve their finance needs. And that's when we decided to go after this market. Ingenero is pretty different. Okay, so I should start with the question. The question is, how do you distinguish your product from the competition? And we at first started with thinking about what kind of product do we want to build, and we were trying to figure out, did we want to build an accounting product, or did we want to help businesses better manage their money? And they're kind of different ideas. Basically, from working on my previous businesses, I tried using accounting software like QuickBooks, and it's just really hard to use. And back when I started to build the product, I surveyed a bunch of business owners, and I realized that very few of them knew how to use accounting software. And even if they purchased a service like QuickBooks, they just never got into it, or they just never stayed engaged with the product. So we decided to do something more similar to Mint, in that it should be automated and just completely download all your finances from all your accounts for you and not use accounting rhetoric. And so that's the route we decided to take. Another question I had from a reader this morning was, how do you guys acquire new customers? And I'll go into that later, but basically, we don't do any customer acquisition right now. We're just super focused on product. And so, like with PR and word of mouth marketing, that's been signing up all of our new customers. A new question: how do you raise startup capital? We started actually back in 2009, and we tried to raise startup capital back when the market was pretty terrible, and I couldn't actually get anyone to commit. It was just really difficult. So I talked to dozens of angel investors and VCs, and not a single of them wanted to commit because they thought our management team was too young, too inexperienced. You didn't know what we were doing. So if I were any angel investor, I wouldn't have invested in my own company. So we went through Y Combinator in June of 2010, and Y Combinator just made things so easy. Like, we went through the program, we pitched at the annual demo day, which is basically at the end of each Y Combinator session. And after going through that, we started getting a lot of angel investors calling, and and that just made it really easy. I mean, just for a little detail on that, there are some tricks to it. For example, during my Y Combinator batch, we had to create a sense of competition. We pitched a bunch of different people, and we told each of them that we'd close our round in the next 1 or 2 weeks, and or we'd increase our valuation. And by doing that, a lot of people committed within 48 hours. And once you get that first ball rolling of people committing into your round, it just makes it so much easier to get more people to want to invest in your company. So I think that's the trick, just getting the first person to commit, and then the rest of it's pretty straightforward.